What is Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black Uchiha, 3 long face skinny bot. And we are back, still black with some more fireboard to manga related content. Now before we end the video, don't forget to Daimyo, like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, share the video with your friends, and let's hop to the business. Yes, Sirski.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
Okay, 18 chapters deep into 2 Blue Vortex, and I think it's something easily overlooked. Boruto, first of all, the whole entire series, the series itself, referring to Boruto specifically, is kind of weird. It's in a weird limbo position in terms of the side characters, the world building, and the plot. Because on the surface level, I'm talking about even people who are keeping up with the story chapter by chapter, it may not seem as if things are in such expanse or a vast territory, meaning like you may believe, at least at one point, the story is mainly or namely told within the Hidden Leaf Village without any like further exploits, which is true for the most part. However, diving deeper into just one example like that one being as such, it's much more deeper and intricate than that, and it's much more like vast and much more expanse in terms of all of the things going on, from just the characters to the story to the subplots. Now, saying all of that to say, thinking about everything that has been prevalent within the last 2 to 3 chapters in the story, what do we have, right? Just looking on the surface level. The conflict between Matsuri and Konohamaru, right? The conflict between Ryu and Team 7 with Yodo and Araya. The conflict between Amato and Kawaki, Sumire being there, right? And then understanding the whole entire overarching thing of, will he revive the daughter? Will Akebi come back as an Otsutsuki? Those have been the main things, main topic of discussions over the last 2 to 3 months within the chapter. And then I'm like head scratcher, because even looking deeper within these subplots, there's so many more subplots in the story alone. Is actually insane, right? So even further upon the connection between Amato, Kawaki, and Sumire, right? How that whole dynamic plays out. Akebi Otsutsuki being revived, whether she was revived or whether she isn't. The whole entire dynamic of still Sumire, Ada, and Sarada is still there. How does that connect and ultimately lead to Boruto? Who comes into a realization, whether it be Sumire, whether it be Sarada, whether it be Ada herself, upon their feelings and realization of Boruto and how they believe those feelings ultimately affect them as a person in order to grow, move forward, or ultimately confess those feelings to Boruto himself. Who knows, right? And all of that just with the Sumire subplot alone, right? Looking into the further subplots we haven't even touched on within the arc. I'm talking within the last 4 to 5 months, right? I'm talking Shikamaru, his distress currently in his position as the 8th Hokage. People are losing faith. And that's really the main point of this video. People are losing faith in my guy Shikamaru. And with the heat of things building up and things boiling over, it's easy to overlook that fact, right? And then even moving further past that, just to give you guys a better idea, the whole entire plot with Jura and Himawari. Let's not forget about Himawari. We got to understand what's going down with Kurama. How many memories does he actually have intact? Does he actually know the truth of omnipotence, right? We also have to understand my guy Mamushi, aka the Bug Shinju, has not made a move. Come on, guys. And we can't forget my guy in the cut, cold, chilling like a villain, right? Trying to actually become a respectable and likable villain. All of these things are right there in the corner, and we just been looking at everything that has been going down. And it's been like a vast and a mass amount of information, and it's just beautiful all in all, because we're focusing right now on 3 certain plots, like I already mentioned, with the Ryu, the Matsuri, Konohamaru, Team 10, or Team 7, should I say, the Yodo or Araya, the Kawaki and Amato backstory. We've been focusing on these stories heavily, right? And everything else has kind of been taking a backseat or slowly being built up to connect to other overarching themes, to other overarching stories. And it seems like just yesterday, one of the main things to talk about was Sumire versus Sarada, their ideals. Who's going to confess to Boruto? How does this overarching, theme and revelation of emotions affect these 2 friends and their possible relationship with Boruto? And now that seems like to be in the backwater. We're most so worried about, oh yeah, whatever happened with Sumire has Sarada distracted. We're more so worried about Sarada's distraction in the mission as opposed to what actually caused the distraction. So it's just a beautiful way to blend all of these subplots and a beautiful way to let us see, and me personally see, which my eyes have been open to, how vast and expansive the story has actually become, especially in the thing of Two Blue Vortex. And then I said all that. I haven't even touched on the Otsuzukis, right? Pause. I haven't touched on Momoshiki, Shiba Otsutsuki, right? I mentioned Ikibi, and you know what I'm saying, all of these other things that have been going down. So it's really interesting, right? But let's see. My guy Shikamaru is in deep trouble. And these are one of the plots, the plethora of plots that I'm actually interested in. And I'm not going to let it go over my head. I'm going to keep my eye on it, whether it takes us the next 2 or even 3 chapters to get to it or to touch even more on it. Shikamaru has been making decisions that have been causing side eye from characters all around. Now, specific characters we know, such as Ada, have been wary and privy to the fact that Shikamaru understands the truth, or at least somehow can grasp some type of concept of the truth surrounding Boruto. So he will be putting in efforts to support Boruto by any means he can. The feudal lords, right, and specifically the Daimyo, the feudal lord of the land of fire, they heavily want responsibility for whatever occurred with Naruto and the first lady Hinata. They want somebody to take full responsibility for that. And they understand that if Shikamaru does not have the means or is capable in order to capture figures such as Boruto and figures such as Sasuke, which in my case, let me just take a step back, the feudal lord should understand, ain't no regular nigga out here just capturing Sasuke, because not too many people know. They starting to come to understand, like, yeah, Boruto is that guy and much bigger problem right now currently than Sasuke. But still, nigga, ain't too many people out here just casually catching Sasuke like that. So he's making it a real pressure point, right, for the elders of the village to also pressure Shikamaru to let them know, like, yo, we have to get Boruto yesterday. Like, what's the holdup? We need Sasuke like last week. What's the holdup? And what's everything going down? So once they figure out it's actually going to be harder to obtain the results that they actually are shooting for, right? And also playing in the middle where we understand Boruto's name has been brought up in real ambiguous and controversial topics since the start of the story, or since the Code Invasion arc actually began. Boruto protected the village. Boruto saved Himawari. Boruto saved Sarada, right? Boruto is giving out all of this information and intel and details, and somehow his information is aligned with the things that are occurring, that they are seeing in real time, and the things or enemies that are showing up, quote unquote, these divine tree Shinju people. So they have no choice but to acknowledge that. Now, when they're looking at it, or at least reacting on a raw level on surface emotions, right, when things are in their face and right in the moment, they're gonna make rash decisions and say rash things. But once they have time to contemplate and think over it, they have no choice but to accept the fact of the nature these events unfolded the way the events unfolded. And for the most part, all of the evidence points towards Boruto's presence being a huge factor in the survival and the help of the Hidden Leaf Village in the middle of all of the chaos going down. But ignorance is bliss. And we know that for a fact, especially in the case of these elders and especially in the case of the Daimyo. So is Shikamaru in a very threatened position? And that's really all the things I really wanted to bring to y'all's attention, right? Shikamaru's position, not in terms of his life being put in stakes, because he's been on watch since watch has been on watch, right? And I know I use those type of terminologies a lot, but that's just to get you the idea. Like, Shikamaru has been on death's door for a minute, especially within the ending events of Naruto Next Generations. And we understand how the importance of his character has skyrocketed up in the time skip of Two Blue Vortex. So I'm gonna lean back off of the idea of Shikamaru's life being in danger, and I'm more heavily inclined to believe that his position and respectability as one of the head figures in the village is gonna be in danger, right? Too many people are looking at Shikamaru as like, why are you so trusting or willing to at least hear Boruto out? What's going down, right? And we understand that figures such as them, who are not willing to at least look around the scenario or try to understand, Shikamaru is the type of thinker to think behind the think and see the move behind the move in front of the first move. If they're not willing to sit back and accept, that's the type of person Shikamaru is. So any drastic or un-Shikamaru-esque or Shikamaru-like decisions that Shikamaru himself would be making, if he's so drastically straying away or turning away from that fact, shouldn't that allow you to sit back, even as a ninja, and think, okay, maybe something deeper or much more troubling is going on to cause Shikamaru to act a certain way? But still, we know how things play out, and we know how things have been going. It's just gonna be something. Right now, everything has been slowly setting up. It's kind of like in the middle, because bad things have been occurring. Boruto escaping, them still not being able to have any valid information on Boruto or Sasuke, and then Boruto randomly showing up, helping them, preventing certain ninjas for the Konoha village death, right? All of these things have been playing out, so it's kind of hard, especially for someone in Shikamaru's position who semi-understands the truth, but still understands he's in a position where nobody else would be willing to, or even have the capable means of figuring out the truth on their own, let alone hearing it from Boruto himself without their emotions flaring up. So, just based off of the way the feudal lord has been moving, right? And we already know they're not going to catch Boruto, and we know there's going to be more and more ninjas that come across my guy Boruto and be willing to accept at least his part to play in taking down the Shinju. And then overall, all of that, Kawaki. Now, Shikamaru himself understands the truth, at least semi-truth, about how Kawaki's nature is. But if Kawaki decides to work with Boruto, nobody really is going to have a say in deciding how that goes. It's going to be a real head-scratcher to see how the villagers around react, or even if it gets out into the public that Kawaki decides to accept help from Boruto. How does he decide to go about that? And does he even think how it can affect the perception of the people around him within the village? But still, no capturing Boruto equals a person has to take the fall, and that person will likely be the acting Hokage and my guy Shikamaru. So they're gonna have to place the blame on him, possibly confining him, or possibly just stripping of him of the Hokage position and having him step down. I don't want to put it past them for them to suspect, even go as far as to question and interrogate Shikamaru because of all of the blunders that have been occurring. But let me know how y'all feel, because I really see it and I feel it in my gut. This guy is in deep trouble. He is definitely in deep trouble. I don't think his life is on the line, but if Konoha is actually that dumb, which I don't put it past the elders, and they actually decide to take it that far, it can't even be where they decide to execute Shikamaru with solidified and stamped means that they had on him helping Boruto and acknowledging Boruto's escape when they had him in the interrogation room. Let me know how y'all feel about it and Shikamaru's position overall in the story, and how y'all think it will be going forward, especially in the midst of this Hidden Sand arc. If things go awry and things actually fail, it's going to be another blunder on Shikamaru's call within the current predicaments going down. So let me know how y'all think about it. It's your boy Black Chair, 3 long face, skinny body. I'm going to holla at y'all. Black Chair out. Yes, sir. Ski.